file. I might, and don't hold me to that. It might be a little bit more or less right now because the government's subject to change anything at any time. But you want to file for copyright. You might also want to send it off to places like the Writers Guild of America. And you just want to document your ownership of that particular expression of your idea. And that way you at least have some protections and maybe some evidence of when you actually created this idea and that it is your idea. There's another question in the chat: is registering your work with the Writers Guild equivalent to copywriting? No, it is not. There is a difference. The copyright and the Writers Guild registration, where they are similar is that they both can provide you evidence as to when you created a particular work. And there are certain things that could be copyrighted. The Writers Guild will take a lot more things, I think, than the Copyright Office will. But copywriting actually gives you particular rights, and they put others on notice that you have those rights, you own those rights, and they are established for a long period of time. Sending something to the Writers Guild is kind of like additional evidence or additional proof that you created a particular storyline or whatever at a particular time. Let's see, a question in the chat. I consulted an attorney, but I left feeling that I had not gained any additional knowledge, nor did I understand at what point did they need to get an attorney involved in the project, but they were minus 450 in the bank. Ouch. I would say most attorneys worth their salt would be willing to give you a half an hour, an hour of their time to just review what you have without charging you for that time, to know where they might be able to help you. I will say that attorneys in general may have a tough time bringing information in from legal speak into normal person speak, but that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to bridge that gap, and we're supposed to make it, break that information down, break the law down so that it makes sense to the common man. So if you're in a situation like that, I would always say, see if you can get a free consultation first, even if it's, like I say, if it's 15 minutes, just to kind of say, this is what I have, this is what I need. And do that to try and get your foothold of information. If you're not getting what you need, go find another attorney. You always have the right to walk away. You always have the right to terminate any engagement you get into with an attorney at any time. When one hires an entertainment attorney, are you paid on a monthly basis, or is it based on whether the client is being paid for their talent? That's a good question. It depends. You can definitely hire an attorney on a retainer. That says they are guaranteeing a dedicated amount of time to you, whether that's every month or if it's a block of, typically what happens with a retainer fee situation or retainer agreement situation is that you give an attorney a pool of money, and whether it's $500, $1,000, $5,000, whatever it is, and as the attorney works and does things for you, they get to draw money out of that pool. When that pool hits a certain level, let's say it started at 500 and it got down to 250, at about $250, the attorney would send you a letter, hey, your retainer with our firm has dropped to this level, please send us funds to replenish it. But that money is actually yours. The attorney is not allowed to tap it or engage it until they have done work on your behalf. So once they've done some work, then they can bill you for those funds and they can then take some of those retainer funds. But until that happens, that money's yours. And if you end the agreement, you get that money back. Unless the retainer agreement says otherwise. But like I said, it's rare that that should happen. I wouldn't enter into an agreement that says I don't get my retainer back when I terminate services if there's money left behind, because it should be your money. If you can also enter into an agreement where, yeah, the attorney's getting 5%, 10% of whatever the talent is making. So if the talent is busy working and the attorney is busy doing stuff on the talent's behalf and they've agreed to a percentage fee agreement, then when the talent gets paid, a slice goes to the attorney. But that's kind of between the attorney and the talent as to how they want to set that agreement up. In the event of copyright infringement, would you need to consult an attorney? Absolutely. You definitely want to get an attorney involved if you are dealing with a copyright infringement case, because there are things you have to be able to prove. There are things you have to be able to prove in a copyright infringement case. The last ditch defense that the infringer is going to go to is something called the fair use doctrine. And so then you're going to have to be able to kind of make sure that what they're doing doesn't fall in that category of fair use. And you got to be able to prove that otherwise. And copyright infringement cases can be very complex and can get kind of expensive. So you got to make sure that it's actually worth it on the other side. They have to infringe in such a way that they're making bank on what they did in the first place, so there's something worth going after. So next question, at what point in the film project writing process would you consult your attorney? I would say, I'll put on my project management hat for a moment and say you start closing a project at the beginning. You definitely want to kind of bring an attorney in, even like I said, if it's on a very short conversation basis at the beginning of the project, just to make sure you're not heading down any path that's going to potentially infringe on somebody else's copyright or trademark. But I would say you could go through after that. You could even go ahead and write the entire project, because there's no way of knowing for sure until we see certain things to say, oh, that might look like this, or that might be a part of, this, or, oh, you included Coca-Cola. You can't call it Coca-Cola. That's going to infringe on their trademark. Or unless you get an endorsement deal from them, then they'll let you call it Coca-Cola. I would, when you've kind of got your first draft complete, I would definitely kind of run it past, if you have an attorney involved, run it past your attorney at that point, so they can give you feedback as to if there's any gotchas or that you're running into there.
All right, Attorney Pullum. So if you have any other questions, Attorney Pullum, please let the people know how they can reach out to you.
I can be reached at Shawn, AWN, at Pullum Law Firm. That's PULLUMLAWFIRM.com.
So do you have any parting words that you would like to leave with our guests tonight? What should they know besides what you have stated thus far?
I guess I'll end with this. I'll end how I started. I'm happy to be supportive of the creative community, and in your creation, realize that your ideas in and of themselves aren't protected, aren't sacrosanct, but it's your expression, the way you bring that particular idea to life that is unique to you, very creative, and that's the thing that you want to protect. So please go forth, create. We need the creatives to bring that extra art and joy into life. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us. Have an awesome evening.
Thank you.
All as well.
So one thing before Lucretia introduce our next guest, I just wanted to add is that I'm a proponent of like making sure you register your information with the Writers Guild of America. But I know we spend a lot of time talking to networks and negotiating and pitching. And when you pitch, and this has happened to one of my clients, we pitched to a major network and 1 month, like in March. And then in April, her pitch was taken and given to someone else. And about 6 months later, when the person show came out, they copied the pitch down to the T, down to the poses of my client in the pitch deck. And so if you don't know what a pitch deck is, we will have that masterclass coming up sometime in 2021. We'll talk about that. And all they did was just tweak a little bit of the pitch and change the personality. And so although it was registered with the Writers Guild of America, because they just tweaked it a little bit, we could not go after the network for taking the client's idea. But as I watched the show, you can tell it wasn't the person was not the creative behind the show, because they're very good at what they do. I know them personally, they're very good at what they do, but you can tell that they were still uncomfortable. So I say that to say, you still take a risk when you pitch something out there. So make sure that when you're given the opportunity to pitch, that you do seek some type of legal representation to fight on your behalf, to read contracts. A lot of times we get so happy, like, oh, somebody want me, I'm just gonna take whatever, but never settle. You know, make sure that people know your value and know your worth, and don't sell yourself out for a couple of $100,000 when you can get way more money. And so your legal counsel should begin, I would say, when you begin to seriously to pitch your information out there to others. And then people take you seriously when they know you have some type of representation with you as well. Okay, Lucretia.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Trina, and you as well, Shawn. Great information. And I am truly honored to introduce our next guest, which is Miss Kimberly Jenkins. She is a radio personality and a former TV host. And I will bring her into the room.
All right, Kimberly, is she muted?
Yes, she is muted.
Yes.
In her head, yes.
Okay,
There we go.
There she is. Let me put the spotlight on Miss Kim. It is all on you. Wait, she is back muted again. Let's unmute her. All right, there she is. Welcome, Miss Kimberly, all the way from Virginia. Can you hear me? Oh, she's back muted. Let's see. Well, sometimes we have some technical difficulties. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Welcome.
Okay. All right.
We are excited
Thank
to
you.
have you, especially all the way from Virginia. And so we always tell people, ladies in film,
Yes.
it's just, first of all, it's not just for women. It's not just for men. It's for the whole family. And you do not have to live in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. We accept memberships from all across the country. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Before I get into what I wanted to ask, because you have some pretty exciting things coming up, I want to tell us something, about, for us, the industry, introduce yourself to our
Okay.
tonight.
Okay. Well, my name, as you said, is Kimberly Jenkins. I go by Kimberly J. That's my radio show name. And I do a gospel show here in the Hampton Roads area. However, it is aired on iHeartRadio, and you can get it through whov.org. I had started a television show prior to this, filmed 6 episodes, and Attorney Pullum and Dr. Catrina, everything that you said and the sentiments that you echoed in terms of protecting what's yours. I could not have learned more about that. But it was a great experience. It was a great learning experience. I'll let you ask questions, but one thing I will say is to be in position and to be ready for whatever happens next. You never know what doors will fly open for you. I did not start off saying, oh, I'm just going into television. It was something I wanted to aspire to do. It does cost money. It does take consistency and persistence from you to get out there. And then once you do break down barriers, everybody's not necessarily going to have the same vision or the same vigor that you do. So sometimes you just have to go it and figure it out on your own. But my doors opened, went from TV, went to television, went from television, went to radio. And so from there, other doors began to open. And so I just say, to start off, you need to be in position and be ready to accept whatever's coming your way. And I saw a question come up, and someone's going to have to read it because I can't read the question. It had something to do with me getting into television.
Yes, it says, how do you get into the television venue?
So television is actually what I started doing, but my connections through radio is what got me on TV. And I used to have a fear of speaking. So I always tell people who have a big, huge fear of speaking, you can just let that go, because if this is where you want to go, you'll get there. And with practice, I got there, and now I'm not afraid of anybody. Matter of fact, you probably be like, can you just be quiet? Let me get a word in edgewise. But I got into television and the film industry in particular through connections and through being on TV. I'm used to being in front of the camera. I'm comfortable with being in front of the camera. So people would have me as a figurehead or someone to come and speak about certain subjects or to do interviews, because what I've learned is there are a lot of people who are in television that still don't like to do things like get up in front of people. So the things that other people were uncomfortable doing, they paid me to do. And I was in position and ready to receive it. So that's how I end up in television. That's how I end up on television. That's how I end up meeting and connecting with people in the business. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to speak up. And you can't be, not in this business, or someone will squash you. Someone will definitely get you. And you got to be eyes wide open and always prepared and covered legally. And professionally. So I couldn't agree with that more. Now, I was protected and covered on my shows, everything, and it's still mine. It is my intellectual property, and now I have tangible product. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, actually. Haven't decided what I'm gonna do. It's kind of dated, but I try to keep it as green as possible. The show, when I said, tell us about your shows. Well, the show that I had is called The Dish with Kimberly J. And I did interviews of people. One thing I realized was there are a lot of people, especially here, the 2 up, 2 down, right? We call that Virginia, 2 up, 2 down. It's VA if you don't know for real, right? So, so one of the things, and I've just lost my complete train of thought, but I was going to tell you how I got into television and how this all began for me. Is my connections, and my connections would speak up for me. I guess that's what we were asking. Is that what y'all just asked me? I'm sorry, because I'm going to go off on another tangent.
How did you get in television? Yes.
And through my connections, people would have me come and speak. And then the television went into film because my kids are interested in that. So as I'm connecting them, I started connecting with people as well. And if you make good connections and you don't burn bridges and you are thorough and you follow through, people will have you come back. And they will find what you're saying or be engaged with what you're saying, or find that you're engaging to their audience, and they'll have you come back. That's pretty much it. I mean, I guess it's just it's a gift, and I'm blessed to have it. I had to grow it. I had to learn it. I have to be authentic to, you talked about someone else taking someone's work and trying to make it theirs. If you don't have an authentic voice, and if you're not true to who you are or what your thoughts and feelings are, it's going to come through. If you're phony, it's going to come through, and eventually it will catch up. And I think, like you asked me about the show, the TV show, it was a learning curve. And then going to radio was a different learning curve, because you don't always have someone to converse with. Right. Sometimes you have to learn how to hold a conversation and speak and keep your audience engaged, and do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's a different skill. And how did I get that skill? It was all through practice. Mm-hmm. One of the questions that came up, plenty of practice, plenty of mistakes, and your mistakes are just to make you better. You know, you have people, you have to have criticism come from somewhere. You have to be able to receive your constructive criticism, because that's what makes you better. If you can't receive it and your skin is thin, this is not the business for you, because people will come for your entire soul and can tear you all the way down. And we've seen people have that happen. But if your skin's not thick enough, if you're not prepared, if you don't have the right support system around you, because everybody that's with you doesn't always mean that they're for you, right? But you have to have the right people around you. And that doesn't mean let everybody in, but it does mean don't burn bridges. And it means keep your eyes and your ears wide open.
Yes.
So there was a question.
Well, so Kimberly, it's like when you're talking, it's like you're telling my story.
Really?
Basically, I wasn't even looking to get in the industry. I've always done like PSAs and stuff like that for nonprofits, and dibbled and dabbled, you know, just a little bit to, you know, bring a message and bring it to the screen. One of my friends were like, Doc, I've watched, I like how you move. I need you to manage my music career. And I'm like, I manage businesses. I don't manage, you know, music, but I've always had a love for music. And so answering the call to him actually started me fully in the entertainment industry. And I'm like, God, I went to school to be a social worker, colleges. That's what I went to school for. But the way of just making you be like, So what I do is I use all of that experience that I had and
take it with you.
And take it with me. And everybody in the industry now is like, how you deal with these people? How do you deal with that?
Your training
background that I have, I'm able to deal. And you have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to walk away because we have turned down clients that people will be like, oh no, you need to take them. No, if they don't fall in line with how I do business, I don't care.
Then bye, right? It's not a good marriage. And it just doesn't mean it's not for, it's not a bad thing. It's just not for you. And it doesn't mean down the line that things couldn't come together and be different. But I do think that we are given clues, and we have to recognize those clues while we're in the industry or in life, period. I see another question, so make sure y'all get that point. Is that we have to take those clues and know when to move forward, because that could be weight that's holding you down from what your next blessing could be. So I totally agree with you. And I wasn't looking to get on this path, as you said.
Yeah, it just
wasn't something I was looking. It did, and so this is what I was trying to say before. It just came back to me. Thank you, God. You might be looking to do one thing, and your path might go off into a different direction. And you want to typically take the path of least resistance, but sometimes that one with the few challenges is going to be the one that pays you off. That's the one that you're supposed to go down, right? And it might not be easy. And it might be very uncomfortable, but the payoff is so great. And I gotta say, it doesn't feel like work. It is so fulfilling. And doors will you'll find that things will automatically just start opening. Doors will just open and open and open. And your creativity is flowing, and your intellectual property and all these ideas. And you're watching something like, I can do this, and I can, who do I need to connect with that I trust? And that's where your team, and that's where everybody else comes into play. That you
and it's all about relationships.
It is all about relationships.
You can go to the best of the schools, get the best of the best training.
Yes.
I'm telling you, our walk besides faith has been relationship. You have to build a relationship.
Yes.
You just always run to the top. you have to find out who the gatekeeper is. And
You better say it.
know the gatekeeper, because the gatekeeper is the one that has the ear. The gatekeeper
Yes.
is only the one that makes the decision on the behalf of the person that you're trying to get to.
That's right.
There's some key things as well that
Yes.
you need to know to get ahead in the industry. So another question came up, because
Yes.
this does happen. How do you deal with trolls?
Ooh! I don't. I really don't.
Right.
There's so many, oh gosh, I don't. There's certain things that I don't respond to, certain things I just don't give it energy. And the trolls come in different forms. You can have somebody in your own family be a troll. Just want to let y'all know that, right? And there's always somebody just watching and waiting. Sometimes they're watching and waiting because they really sincerely care about what it is you're doing. Sometimes they're watching and waiting because they just want to see, is she going to make it? Is she going to do it? You know, and at my age, y'all don't even know everything, but at my age, things have come up, right? And I'm thinking, Lord, really, at this time in my life, this is what we're going to do? And he's like, I prepared you. When you went to school for this, you were thinking that's what you were going to school for. When you had this situation come up in your life, you thought that was what you were going to be. That's not everything that we think is laid out for one thing. I'm telling you, can be laid out for something different. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you've done 3 different things in life. Everything you have done, take something from it and take it with you, because it will be used again. As Dr. Catrina said, all of those things that's what makes me me. All my experiences and relationships that I've built, it's going to carry on to the next thing that I go to. And hopefully it's making me better. That's my goal, is to always take something, even if it's not so great. It could be bitter. That was one of the books that I authored, is Lemonade Chronicles. And that's where everybody knows you take your lemonades and your lemons and you make lemonade. And so that's one of the things that you have to do, especially in this industry, because you're going to get some lemons. You're going to get plenty of lemons, but it's going to build you up. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to let you know, who do I really want to be in partnership with? Who is it that I trust, and who do I want to deal with? And how do I update my reel? Somebody just asked about a reel.
Yes. So if you're unable to answer that, we do have a talent agent that will be coming on towards the end. And so she'll be able to answer that question for you, Shayna. Dee Dee, collaboration is so important. Yes, it is. That's one thing that I know I teach about. And that's one thing that Ladies in Film is about. I'm all about giving opportunity where opportunity is. It's so much work out there that can be done. And all we have to do is to begin to work together. When we begin to work together, you can see so many doors open, because it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to get in the industry, but once you get a bad name, that's kind of it. Like, so you have to be very open to collaborating with others. Another question is, how much creative control did you retain in your projects, and why was that level of control? Why was that level of control important to you?
So I had complete autonomy for my show, for the TV show. It was important to me because that is actually who I was. So when I sit in front, when I talk to people and being authentic, that show had to be how I am and things that I was interested in. If not, it really wasn't me. And I think the reason so many shows are successful or aren't successful is because there's so many people telling people how to be. When you have an actor or an actress and they're in a show and you tell, they're learning their lines, but they're learning their lines. They have to study sometimes the behavior or something of someone else in order to incorporate that into who they are, to make it their voice, to make it more authentic to them. And that's what portrays and what comes across screen and makes them so great. It's no different when you're sitting as a TV host or a radio personality. It's still entertainment, but you still have to be true to you, but you still want to have some decision. For me, I need it. It's important to me because it makes me more authentic. Is that an AKA way? Did somebody ask about?
Yeah, hold on. Michaela, ask your please.
I don't know what the question was, but this might be an indication of something. I don't know.
I was just saying,
Okay,
I just thought that I thought that may have been AK jersey, but you know, I'll silence myself now.
That's okay. It's not. I'm wearing green and white and blue. I do want to say,
well,
I
blue
am
is a
in.
great color. You know,
What's that?
They're royal blue. It's a great.
Okay, I smell a little Z. Do I smell some 19? What is it? 20? Some 19? Something up here on the right. It's all love, right? And let me tell you what's funny is that's also a connection.
Yeah.
Everything is a connection, and conversation is a connection. And I'm now one of the things I think I want to take up all my time is that the NAACP Image Awards. This is my first year.
Yes, that's what I want to ask you about. Congratulations.
Thank you, and I'm excited. Thank you, because that is a relationship. Also, that's how I got to do that. Soror from Hampton University, had to get both of those shameless plugs in. She is the president. She's in charge of the NAACP Image Awards. And she said, you know, I think you would be great on the nominating committee, because I asked her to look at my son's work, which I got to admit, it was really good. Right. But anyway, that's part of how this got started. And then she's like, you know, you're at the radio station at Hampton University, which is the radio station I do my radio show on, the Kim and Colby show. She got me on there, and I got to tell you, it's an experience like I never thought. I understand now why God had to prepare me in so many different ways. For one, you saw I won't act a nut because I got excited over. I don't know if you all watch some of these shows, but they've given me like you get gifts in the mail. It's just different, and I welcome it because I feel like I've worked long and hard. So
they give some good gifts, though.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I was like, oh, we get to watch this. And I know my husband's probably like ready to turn the cable off because they give us everything for free to watch. But I've watched most of the shows or movies. My job is to review and be on the nominating committee so that, so their job, the people in the film industry, they're in TV, they're sending stuff. So we'll watch it and engage. So we'll vote for them. It's a different kind of dating or wooing, if you will. And it's so nice to be on this side of it. But I also have a very good appreciation and understanding of the other side of it too. So, and in terms of jobs, I know that was one of the things that you touched on. That was one of the things that the panels that I was on for the NAACP was talking about being in film and having all these different positions available that people don't want to look. Everybody doesn't want to be in front of a camera, and everybody's not supposed to be in front of a camera, but there are so many jobs out there, and there's so many things that young people especially, y'all can create. If you're thinking about doing something, somebody else is thinking about doing it too. The difference is whether or not you're going to do it, whether or not they're going to do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Just get out there and do it. And I know our millennials are very good about doing that, but just get out there and make it happen and protect yourself. As Attorney Pullum said, make sure you protect yourself in the process of doing it. But there's so many opportunities out there. So don't be short-sighted.
Wow.
How do you come from stage to film? Is that what somebody asked?
I
haven't done that.
So that would be, that would be a question for Miss Dannette. So when she comes on, that'll be one question that we will have her answer, and we may have one of our other guests that can answer that as well. We have Miguel Nunez that's going to be here tonight, and that may be a question that he can answer for you, Kendra, as well.
There was a question before that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Freedom Smith. She says, what jewels of wisdom would you have for someone who is making a total career change at 45 plus when networking? I often find it's hard to make connections because I believe people think I should have more going for me due to age, not understanding that I'm new to the business. No.
If you have something, did somebody else want to say something?
No, I was telling you on.
Oh, okay. Okay. If there's something that you want to do, don't look to your left, don't look to your right. You just look straight ahead, focus on it, but you do have to have a plan. Whatever your plan is though, build yourself up. and somebody put just go for it and get out there and just make it happen, because positioning yourself, find like panels like this, get in touch with people, get involved in your community. And I say in your community, but to understand how things happen. My son learned a lot of what he learned at church behind the scenes, learning how to use a camera. And now he's in school for film. He's a senior going out to LA for filmmaking. And he's doing very well, but he learned a lot of his stuff between YouTube and staying connected, and not just from mom, from just getting out there and making it happen. And he did that. And you could do the exact same thing. And don't let age be a barrier. And what someone else's expectations are of you has no credence on what it is that you can do. They can't define you.
Right.
Don't get me going. Don't get me going. That's a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. Look, let me tell you, one thing they call me is a chain breaker. So I'm gonna tell you, Freedom, the chain breaker movement is all about you don't let anything stop or hold you back. Kendra, no, because she played me in the stage play that did. Dannette directed it. She wrote it, all that good stuff. But don't let your age or anything stop you. If you need help with building that self-confidence, I don't know if you're a part of women in, of ladies in film, you know, get with us, meet with us. That's what the mentoring piece of ladies in film is about. And if you need some assistance with going out there, networking, doing your thing, we do not have a problem with working with you. So one question we got, and this is going to be our last question for Kim. How do you feel about using lower budget film clips as your reel, if that is all you have? I don't know if you ever had that experience, Kim. I know, but one thing I was going to say, sometimes we shoot on no budget. And as long as you shoot and have a quality film, sometimes they can't even tell whether it's low budget, no budget, or anything.
That's right.
It depends on the quality of the film, because don't let a low budget film scare you or deter you from being a part of it. But it all depends on the quality of the work.
Was Stranger Things, was that considered low budget?
I think so.
But it made such a hit. And before Stranger Things, there was one where somebody literally took their camera. It was a huge hit. I can't remember what the movie was. And it was kind of scary. I don't do scary movies, but they had a camera and they were running. You could see them running through the film and through the fields, and you could see the film, but it was a huge hit. And the reason, and I look at Spike Lee, how Spike Lee started, what his story was about how he got started in film. Sometimes it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. Yeah. And in quality is very important, yes, but sometimes a good storyline and just keeping people's attention, that'll do it right there. That alone. Look how many people look at social media just to stay engaged and stay entertained. Yes. You can do it. Yes.
So the Blair Witch Project was one.
Yes, that's what it was.
That was low budget. Says, what advice would you give for a person coming from prison trying to entertain?
Go for it.
Yes.
Nobody has to know about it unless they ask. Go for it.
Yeah.
You know how many people
it depends on how you feel about it, but being transparent, you can always I always tell people, take the negatives and turn it into a positive.
Turn it a positive.
And be able to capitalize off of, monetize your situation of you being in prison. How can you turn that into a positive thing? How can you make it a comedy? You know, especially when you built up the courage and the strength, you know, to get out and turn your life around. How can you monetize off of your situation?
Was that Leonard?
You got to remember that God will take us through things so it can be a testimony for others, and
other people.
It can benefit other people, including ourselves.
That's right. That's right. Amen. That was for Leonard. Was that Leonard? Somebody responded?
Yes, Leonard Johnson.
Leonard Johnson, you go for it. I'm telling you right now, if there's something in you, no one can take that from you. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You are 99% of what your situation was. Only 1% is the situation, but it's 99% is what you do with it. And you could be sitting on a great story right now, Leonard. And you probably have heard a ton of stories while you were sitting in there doing your time. You probably met with a lot of people. Tell the stories. Go in there and be the voice for the people. You know how many people who were locked up?
Let's make a movie. We'll make a movie, a stage play. We'll write a book. Yeah, we'll write a book.
Leonard, we got a story to tell. We got something to do. So yeah, I definitely think every situation, everybody's got a story to tell. You just got to tell it. That's all.
Yes. And don't think because of my age. Don't think because I was in prison. Don't think because you begin to speak that negativity in your life.
You'll believe it.
Yes. So you have to be able to say, this has happened. This was my past. Turn your past or your pain into your purpose of where you're going. Like I say, God is not going to take you somewhere where he didn't want you to come back and be a light and talk about it. Like Kendra say she 50. She here to change the narrative of age in the film world. Let's do it. I'm not a gray hair granny. I'm still vibrant at 50. Give me my right roles. Leonard, let's go for it. So
yes. I expect to see your name again. Leonard, I want to review you for the NAACP Image Awards. How about that? Step up to that. Okay, start writing, Leonard. Start writing. Thank y'all.
Yes. So Kimberly, tell us if anybody want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Okay. So one of two ways, Instagram, I am _Kimberly J. I am _Kimberly J. I don't do a lot of DMs. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But if you say, Kim, I'm going to DM you for information, I will check my DMs for that. Or you can reach me at, yes, thank you. Or you can reach me, and that's on Instagram. You can reach me at kimjenkins004@gmail.com. That's kimjenkins004@gmail.com. And I want to see y'all finish strong. Get out there. You can't finish something if you don't start it. You can't cross the finish line if you quit. So I got to see y'all cross that finish line because I'm going to be right there for it. Handing you your award. Red carpet.
Yes.
I'm claiming it.
Yes.
So thank you for having me. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So we look forward to seeing more from you. And then one of my clients is the voice of the NAACP Image Awards. And
okay.
So for you to be a part, it's just very exciting.
It is really exciting. I got it.
That's
you could have told me last year that I'd be sitting here having a conversation with you about me getting the package from P Valley or Stars today. I was excited about that package. Or having
that's my show. I ain't gonna talk about
that's
that.
That's my show. I don't even want to digress. Okay, let me go to mute. Let me go to mute.
And Kim, you're welcome to stick around as long as you like.
I'm gonna be right here. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. All right, that was great information, and I'm excited, so I'm sure you all are as well. But we're gonna keep it moving, and we're gonna move to our next guest. He is he's a local here in the Dallas area. He's done some big things, and I'm sure he's working on some pretty big things as well. Next up is Arthur Muhammad. Doc, you got to bring him in. Yes. Hi, Arthur. How are you this evening? Arthur's muted. Can you speak now? Are you unmuted now?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Yes. Dr. Catrina is going to be right back, and she's going to be asking you a few questions. But if you'd like to introduce yourself to our guests, we'd be more than happy for you and welcome you to do so.
Well, how is everybody doing this virtual world? Like Lucretia said, my name is Arthur Muhammad, and I reside here in Dallas, Texas, but my films can be seen all around North America. So even though I am here locally as a filmmaker, I try to make films that go far beyond than just this area. And so I've been blessed to have a few films, Carter High, what had a theatrical release, a limited theatrical release. First Impression was on Netflix along with Carter High. Carter High was also on BET along with First Impression. And I just recently had a film, The Little Voice, that Lucretia, she actually got a sneak preview. She saw it before I started telling people it was released. She actually had the opportunity to see it, and you can catch that on iTunes, Urban Flix, Amazon, Vudu, and a few other streaming platforms. So that's a little bit about me. I graduated from Southern Methodist University here in Dallas, and currently pursuing my master's in film.
That's awesome, Arthur. I was looking to see if we have any questions for you. I just see a lot of excitement going on in here. And actually, panelists, guess you can start putting your questions in the box for Arthur. I recently worked on a film with Arthur, Stepdad, which will be out sometime next year. And I was really excited to work with him, as well as the rest of the cast and crew. It's gonna be, it's a romantic comedy, and I'm sure you all will like it. I hope so anyway, and get a chance to see it.
And just before I go, I know a brother, someone was mentioned about coming out of prison, but so that you know, Charles S. Dutton, who was actually, he played the coach in Carter High. He was in prison. He did time in prison, and he came out, and as you know, is like a phenomenal actor. And he honed his skills while he was actually incarcerated. So that does not stop you, only if you allow it to. And the biggest prison is the one in your head, in your mind. So don't let that confine you. And I believe that was Leonard.
Yes. And we do have a couple of questions going in, Arthur. Kenya Brown, how did you get it? Oh, no. Wait a minute. How can we work with Arthur?
Well, I'm pretty accessible. I mean, whether or not you have, I try to even cast, but more or less when I'm getting a crew, it's very good if you got experience, but more than just experience, have good energy, because when you're working on a movie, or a film or TV show, whatever, you spend so much time with people, and you can get the best person with all the experience in the world. But if they bring in the wrong vibe, the wrong energy, you're like, I don't need that, because you with them so long, so much, you become like a family for however long that set is. And so you want to try to have good energy. So I'm pretty accessible for the most part when I got films. I like to have a budget, a big enough budget, so that I can at least, take care of people, but you will get fed for sure, other than that. But so yeah, I don't know if the person who asked that question is here in Dallas, and if they were speaking of being on a crew or acting, but I hope that helped.
No, she is in the area. And then we have actually attorney Shawn Pullum. He asked, how did you get involved with Carter High?
Well, I went to Carter High, and so I actually played on that team that particular year. I was a junior that year, and I ended up getting a football scholarship to SMU. But I remember seeing the movie Friday Night Lights. They invited the community and everybody to go see that movie. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, it just did not depict us the way we really were. And so many films do that, but since I was so close to that particular story, I'm like, that was not us. They had us like hoodlums and, gang bangers and that type of stuff, bandanas. And Coach James would never allow us to, act the way they portrayed us in that movie. So I took it upon myself, and with the help of Greg Ellis, to make a movie that portrayed our image, So I felt like if we don't take it, take our stories and create and control our narratives, then we can't keep looking at them and blaming it on them if we're not going to take advantage, especially in this day and time when equipment is so accessible, and of course you may not have the biggest budget, and Carter High budget is nowhere near Friday Night Lights budget, but we was able to tell our story. And so that is how I got involved with that movie. And the crazy thing is, I actually reached out to ESPN to do a 30 for 30 on Carter during that time. And they said they didn't do 30 for 30s on high schools. But after we did the movie, then all of a sudden, the director of that came out, interviewed me and, watched the movie, and then came out to the, our annual picnic and ended up doing a 30 for 30. So with the help of us doing that movie, it actually allowed their story to be told, from their perspective. So that's how I got involved with Carter High.
That was a great movie too. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And Katie Carr has, do you post casting calls for your films? If so, where do you post them?
Yes, ma'am. They'll be posted in Actors Access and on Instagram and Facebook, regular social media.
And somebody says, boo, they're a former Kimball Knight.
We got a real hater in the house.
And then our next question is, did you study filmmaking at SMU?
Yes, I did. And that's actually the first time when I realized that you can actually go to school and learn filmmaking. Before that, I never, growing up in Oak Cliff and in high school here, I never thought that you could actually go to school and learn it. So when I went and I was studying, initially my major was communication, but as you go through the pamphlet, there was a section for cinema. And I was like, cinema, wow, it's like you can actually study, making movies. And that's actually where I started at.
All right. That's all right. I didn't realize you went to Carter. Oh. I went to Spruce, Apache. Okay. Yes. Any more questions for Mr. Muhammad? I know these actors out here have some questions for you, and filmmakers as well. Tell me this, what is the hardest thing for you to, here in the Dallas area, what is the biggest hurdle you have to overcome in casting?
I would say the biggest hurdle is probably finding talent that's willing to, and this is not really not mandatory, but I don't think actors realize how important it is for them to continue to push a project after it's released. I think a lot of times we make the movie, and I know a sister just was talking about like the She's Gotta Have It, the Blair Witch projects, and these low budget films. But what those films eventually had was marketing behind it. And you can have a film, the best film in the world, but if nobody knows about it, I mean, it sits on a shelf, or very few people. I remember when Love Jones came out. I had never heard of Love Jones until Love Jones hit DVD. So because the marketing was so bad, but I thought it was a very good movie. Same thing with Five Heartbeats. I didn't even know Five Heartbeats ever had a theatrical release. And then I heard the stories behind it. Marketing was bad, but I thought it was a great movie. So I think, and I mentioned that and combine that with the actors, because they can help, especially in this realm, using your social media platforms to help push movies, even on the independent level. So I think, making sure that you cast talent that's willing to continue to help push a project once it released.
I agree with that. That's a very good answer. I agree with you on that. Let's see here. We have a couple of people asking, what's your next project?
Well, like I said, The Little Voice just been released. Also, Gutter Mummies, 2 movies actually released back to back. And I'm in post-production on 2 films now. Starter Marriage, The Starter Marriage, which will come out 2021, and Stepdads, that stars Lucretia. She's in that one. So those are the next ones. I just finished writing a script for my master's called 12. It's a horror film / horror thriller type film, take place in one location. And so far it's getting a lot of good, a lot of good feedback. So I would say that would probably be my next one. I'm supposed to be working on a film coming up maybe March or this summer also.
Will this be your first horror film?
It will.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Leonard, actually, he said, I was locked up with a lot of rappers out of Houston, Dallas, such as Dallas Rap, Mr. Pookie, and named off a lot of
Pookie
different
Leroy?
people. Yes, everybody know Pookie, huh? Boxer Donald Curry, Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And NBA, Clippers, Rams. How can I use that to inspire people in a movie?
How can I
use that to inspire people in a movie? I guess knowing all of those people or running across those people while he was there.
Man, write a good story. I think it all begins, like I said, in the beginning was the word. So if you write a good script can attract talent. So it all begins with that ideal. It begins with that script. It begins with that story. And with that, you can attract talent and you can attract people to help you push that idea forward. So you have to, if it's that good, take out the time, learn how to write a script. I mean, you can go online to learn how to write. You can go to YouTube University, learn how to write a script, but learn how to write a script and start there.
Risha, I had something to ask Mr. Muhammad if I could.
Of course.
Mr. Muhammad, back in 2007, I started doing photography full time, and then I got the urge to want to do some film. And I knew a lady, and you were doing a movie with her, and I asked her, could I come to the set, take pictures? You can have a picture. I just want to be around that environment and learn what I can learn. And of course, it was the movie you were shooting, Paradise House, back in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So,
right.
So I got a chance to come on the set and actually see you work. And that was the first time I ever was on set. So at that point, I realized, I said, you know what? I want to do this too. And so that's kind of what sparked me to say, go ahead, let me go ahead and go forward with this too, because I was just doing photography at that time. So I appreciate being on the set with you to see how things work. And it let me know that I can do it too. So
yes, sir.
I appreciate that experience.
Yes, sir.
And I got to be in the movie actually for about 10 seconds as the extra.
You see?
So it worked out good. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So whoever that was before that asked about how can it be on the set, the brother just told you. He reached out. He wanted to come. He came. He was able to take some pictures, got inspired, and became an extra. All at the same time.
Kelly Gray. Kelly Gray was one inviting me out. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Arthur, can you explain to us exactly what the role of a director is?
You know, the director role is, for me, is like a coach, so to speak. And when I say that, my job is, like to say 75%. I've heard different directors put different percentages on it, but all the percentages are very high, from 75, Spike Lee say 80%, Steven Spielberg 80%, but 75, 80% of directing is casting. So if I can do my due diligence and make sure we cast the right people first, my job at that point is to get out their way. So I try to make sure that we cast the right people first, get the right actors. And then one thing I used to do, and I kick myself for it now, because I thought that I was being like smart, so to speak, but I would have these creative ideas and keep them to myself, and then wanted to like surprise the audience, but surprise the cast and the crew at the same time. And so my main job, along with casting, is now to explain my vision to the cast, to the crew, to let them know this is what we're trying to achieve, because these people have come aboard of this film to help you bring this ideal to life. So if I can't explain or communicate my vision to them, then it's all for naught. So I think a director have to have a vision on how he see this movie, you know, from A to Z. You know, it changes along the way, but go in it with a plan. I like to say proper planning prevents piss poor production. So I try to plan as much as I can in the beginning, cast the best we can, then communicate my vision, and then we make a movie.
Great answer. Miss Evelyn Reed, she asks, how do you find funding or investors?
Evelyn, when you find that out, let me know. It's so, all my films have been so different, Evelyn. My first film, I basically financed myself, Solitaire, like back in 2004. Me and a friend, Regis, he had put some money in. That was a $6,000 movie, but we got distribution and we got it distributed. And then after that, someone reached out, Kelly, as a matter of fact, reached out to me to do a film called Sweet Justice. And so we worked on that script. And from my first film, really, from that point on, I've had people come to me with money, so to speak, to make movies. So I haven't had to really go and find investors. But one of the things I do know that you can do, depending on what your movie is about, or write a movie that involves a major, it doesn't have to be a really, really big product, but the example they gave us, like in film school, if you wrote a movie and it involved, and you can involve, let's say, some type of piano, a piano brand, you know, that, and you can put it in your movie, you'll be surprised. You can contact that company and they will actually give you money, product placement money, to have that piano in their film. So that's like some little ways you can go. You can find people like dentists, doctors, I don't know about now because of the pandemic, but that was another way that they told us, you know, approach them because they're looking for, you know, different places to put their money, you know. So that's like the million, that's the $64 million question, Evelyn. Everybody trying to figure out how to crack that one. So, but I would say, don't let that stop you. Start wherever you at. Whatever type of budget that you can get, start there. Because like I said, my first one was a very small $6,000 movie. But from that point on, I really haven't had to go looking for investors.
That's a real good problem to have. Look at and also, we have another question. It's kind of a couple of different questions in one. Can you walk us through your journey when it comes to filming in Dallas, from pre-production to post? And how did you figure out the best way to market films? But you kind of touched on that a little bit. And can you speak on distribution?
Well, that's a lot of questions. Okay, so my journey, I kind of talked about it a little bit. My first film was Solitaire. After Solitaire, I went, and I'm gonna kind of encompass everything, hopefully, in this answer. So my first film was Solitaire, a $6,000 movie. Maverick Distribution picked that film up and they distribute the film. And I don't mind sharing with you all numbers. So, I mean, I think that was old days when we try to hold these type of budgets and how much money you got for films. And I ain't worried about all that. But so I got $6,000 for the movie. Maverick gave me $35,000. So I did the math and I said, I did 6 and they gave me 35, 29. Hey, to me, I was winning. So they took the movie for 15 years and all rights. And I recently just got that movie back. Now I can hide it far away so nobody can ever see it again. But that was my first film. So that was Maverick Distribution. They distributed the film. So I didn't have to worry about marketing or anything. But what distribution did, in the contract, they charge you a $25,000 marketing fee. Meaning you don't see any money, which I did get money up front, but at the same time, you're supposed to get it back in too, which I never got. But I made sure that we got enough up front that I kind of figured we wasn't gonna get anything on the back end. But what they do is they charge you a $25,000 marketing fee, and supposedly they market your movie, which they never did. And until the film crosses that $25,000 threshold, then you begin to see money back. So after we did that film, Kelly got with another EP who wanted to do a film called Sweet Justice. So Wells Go Entertainment distribute that film after we finished that one. Different kind of movie. I got paid up front to direct. We got a little money after we got the distribution, but no marketing really took place on that film as well. So now this is where I get a little tricky. So I end up, a friend of mine who actually put a little money in the first film, Solitaire, he had a film called First Impression, which recently just left Netflix. But now, so I go to Atlanta and I shoot First Impression. I check this out. So First Impression has like Lamont Rucker in it, Elise Neal, Lisa Arundel, a lot of, David Mann, Tamala Mann, Tommy Ford, rest in peace. A lot of names in it. So shoot it in Atlanta. And in my mind, this is it. This is like the big one, So we shoot it. The EP, executive producer, and producer end up having issues. And the movie never comes out at this time. So this is like 2014. The movie never comes out. But I shot the movie. I still had the movie. So when I come back, Greg Ellis, who used to play for the Cowboys, he wanted to do a film. And so I gave him the little voice that I just did myself that came out. But he heard about Carter High. But he's like, man, can we make this movie? So I showed him First Impression, which hadn't come out yet, but at least I did shoot the movie and I had it. And once he saw First Impression, he was like, man, this is like a real movie. Like, you can make a real movie. I was like, yeah, that's what that is. So we did Carter High. So even though First Impression never came out, it led to me doing Carter High. Once Carter High came out, the people who I did First Impression with, he was like, that's your film? Yeah. So then they released, I was able to talk them into releasing First Impression. So, that's been the journey in this film business. So, yeah, and now The Little Voice, came out, which I feel like is probably better than all those movies, I mean, personally. and it's a smaller budgeted film, but it's my voice more than all of those films. The Little Voice it ain't about me, but I'm just saying, as a filmmaker, they tell you, to find your voice as a filmmaker and let that be your work. So I hope that answered the question.
That was a great answer. What, man, all those turns, because I would have never thought with the way the sequence of your movies came out that they were shot that way. Oh right. My goodness. All right. It's a lot of questions in here for you. They have started. I was asking for them and they gave them to us. Let's see here. Since video auditions are giving local actors a greater chance to compete with LA and Atlanta markets, what advice would you give us? What edge do they have on us?
The biggest advice is really be yourself. Bring something to that character that only you can bring. Because what will happen is, as a director or producer, when you start watching auditions, you have, for example, 10 actors that will come in and they all do the same thing. So it's like you actually looking for the one that's going to bring something different. You don't want to be all the way off the wall, but bring something to the character. Just don't, in your audition, don't do the expected all the time. And I would say none of the time, don't do the expected. Bring something to it. Make it your own. Stick to the script, but make it yours.
Great. Somebody was asking, did First Impressions come out in 2014? No, it didn't. It was
just
released
came
on
out.
Netflix this past year.
Yep.
And let's see, they love Kelly Gray. Yes. And question also, what do you do when actors contradict them, when the actors contradict your vision?
We have to have a talk. Yeah, we got to have a talk because the reason why the actor was brought on board this film was to, for my vision as a director. Now, but at the same time, I give actors their space to bring something, like I said before, to the character, to the role, to the story. But it can't contradict. They have to coincide together. They have to, both what they bring to their role, it has to, help the story move forward. So it can't contradict that. And I would give the actor an opportunity to, as you know, Patricia, to try something this way. Once we get it, exactly, how I feel like we need it. And depending on who the actor is, I can tell LA, for example, I've worked with some LA actors. You have to give them a little bit more room to try their way. And then we do it my way. And then whichever one works the best, as long as they both are, within that vision, we just choose whichever works the best. Because in the end of the day, it's about making the best film that we can make. And if what they decide to do is better than what I thought, hey, we all win in the end. So.
I'm sorry, I'm doing a couple different things here, but I was listening. Great. Question also, have you ever fired an actor?
I fired an actor. I fired a DP before. I've never, once I've casted an actor, I've never had to fire an actor because like I said, proper planning prevents piss poor production. So I think that's why I said energy and all that stuff is very, very important because you may have one actor that may be better for the part in one capacity, but may not have the right energy. Then I already know not to cast that particular actor. So I try to cast based on the energy that character or actor is going to bring to the set. So no, I haven't had to fire an actor.
Well, you're very comfortable. It's very easy to work with you. At least I found it very easy to work with you. And we had a lot of fun on set too, but we got the job done. Right. And that's what I like to do. I like to have fun and I like to get the job done. And so, well, we want to thank you so much for joining our panel this evening. Are there any other questions for Mr. Muhammad? I see you now. And Arthur, do you mind sharing how they can reach out to you?
Yes, on Instagram, you can reach me on A Muhammad Film. That's just A MUHAMMAD Film. That's the same thing for Twitter as well. And Facebook, Arthur Jordan Muhammad. And also you can email me at chariot, CHARIOT PROD @gmail.com.
And one last question, when are your next auditions? They keep asking you.
They'll be posted, but I would say we have one. This is a film that we should be doing pretty soon. It's already posted auditions, so you can find that on. The movie is Recession Proof. So you can find it on Facebook now and in Actors Access. So the name of the movie is, as a matter of fact, it may be a role for you, Lucretia.
I'm looking. Okay.
Yeah, so that's out now. And again, in either March or this summer, I'll be working on another movie.
All right. Well, And we want to thank you so much for coming and being a part of our little panel this afternoon or this evening. Ladies in film and television, this is what we do. We try to educate our people and just bring talent into them so that they don't have to go looking for it. So we appreciate you. And you can hang around if you like. And we're waiting on Miguel. Has he come into the room yet?
Okay, well, I'll hang around. Thank you.
Please
Thank
hang
you
around.
for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you again. They're thanking you in the chat as well. All right, everybody. We were supposed to have our publicist, Miss LaCheryl. She is not going to be able to be with us this evening, unfortunately, and I was really looking forward to her. She's ill, and so we're going to keep her in our prayers, and we are as well. And so if you guys can hold on with me for just a few moments, I am chatting with Miguel Nunez right now. So if you can hold on for just a moment for me.
While you guys, she's holding, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Michaela Dartson, Dr. Michaela Dartson. I'm a physician by trade, but I am the president of Ladies in Film and Television. So all of you who are not members, just want you to know that if you're interested in becoming a member, we are offering a discount code for all of you who have registered. So we hope that you will become members. And membership is not just for women, it's for men. And we have our main man, Freddie Watkins, who heads our film committee. He's on here, so, but we would love to have you all join. You don't have to be a Texan, you don't have to be a man. We love to work with everyone. We love to network, and we have so much to offer, so many projects. So please, please, please join us. If you have any questions right now, we're waiting for Miguel to join. You put it in the chat and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Hi, Kimberly. And my cousin Michael is on here too, is also an AKA. So I just want to give all the love to all the Alpha Kappa Alpha women here. But and my girl Malaka Tori is here. Y'all know Malaka. I'm going to be doing some great things with Malaka. She is the baby sister to Guy Tori and Joe Tori. Malaka is the bomb, y'all. She's got some good stuff coming up. So hey, Malaka. She doesn't put her video on, but this woman is a beast. Love your girlfriend. And if you all have any questions, go ahead and put in the chat. We'll tell you a little bit more about Ladies in Film and Television when everyone else has had a chance to talk about themselves in this panel. But we have quite a great story, and we'd love to share it with you guys, and we will. But while we're waiting on Miguel, if you guys have any questions.
Yes, hi y'all. This is Jeanette Greenwood, and Dr. Catrina is actually back. And we know that we didn't have LaCheryl. We were really looking excited to have LaCheryl come on, but we're really excited to share that we have our own publicist as well, Dr. Catrina. So she has agreed to go ahead and come on and answer some of those publicist questions. And by the way, she is my publicist, and I am excited, y'all. I have been doing things. Actually, today, she's a dynamic publicist. Let me just add. Today, I actually got a chance to interview, and I couldn't fly out because y'all know, for those that don't know, I ain't playing with COVID. I don't do nothing. But I was able to still interview with a show in Harlem, New York. So in regards to Zoomzilla, my movie that is out here doing the most. So where are you, Trina? Come on.
I'm right here. I'm sorry. I had one of those publicist calls. I had one of those publicist calls, and how Kim was saying you got to be ready. So see, Miss Lucretia had to be ready. She was on point and she was ready to go. And my husband was like, Cretia got it. She's handling it. So that's what it's all about. You know, she may think she's a great actress, but she's also a great host. And so I had to take care of some a client crisis. So that's what publicists do. We do a little bit of everything. And so If you have any questions about when it's the right time to get a publicist, how do you know you need a publicist? Those are some of the questions that I am able to answer. I really miss that Miss LaCheryl is not going to be here. So I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. I am the president of Pull Corp Media and Business Consulting Group. We are an entertainment and sports and corporate PR and management firm. And so just like Miss LaCheryl, we work with everybody from Los Angeles, New York, all over the world in the entertainment industry. On our end, we prepare you for the red carpet. We handle any crisis cases that you may have. We pitch your information to have you in media outlets. I have articles and everything written on you. So it just, whatever. I'm an open book. So whatever questions you have, just let me know.
Dr. Catrina, can you tell us the difference between a publicist and having a publicist and a manager, an agent? Because some people don't know.
Mm-hmm. So I have some clients, they have all of that. So I'll give you an example. I have a few clients that's in the television industry. And so our firm serves as the management for everything else outside of TV. And then they have a television manager. They have a television agent, and then our firm serves as their PR as well. So we all work together as a team. And so starting out in the industry, you may not need all of those. You may just need your agent and just your PR person, or you may need a manager. It just all depends. So the Michaela, the question was again, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I answered your whole question.
The difference between a publicist and a manager.
Yes. So the difference between a publicist and a manager, the manager handles all of your business needs. The publicist's job is to make sure you're getting the press. The publicist's job is to handle your brand. That's what the publicist do. And then the manager make sure they do some of your booking. If you don't have a booking agent, they manage all your business, all your contracts, whatever you're being booked for.
Catrina, let me just ask you, when you have a private client like me, I mean, you're not my publicist, but my publicist had me just trying to make me clean up my Instagram, because I'm all about the MFBs and the raw. So
on 45.
What do you do when you have a client who was just kind of like out there like me?
I do the same thing your publicists do, like, ma'am, you're gonna have to clean this. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. Pretty much, I meet with my clients. What's your goals? Where is it you want to be? I understand that you vocal, you fighting for what's right. You believe in, freedom of speech. But when you become a public figure, you never really want to lose yourself. But at the same time, you want to make sure that your page is professional and done, because for people that want to work with you on projects, you may get people that want to endorse you. They may consider you an influencer and want you to manage. They will pay you to promote their products and all of those things. So you take a risk. Is it making you money to use your freedom of speech? Or is it making you money to kind of just clean up your social media? So yes, you have to look at, because it's a lot of stuff I be want to say. It's a lot of stuff you want to do. But I live through my girl, Michaela. I'll send her a message or something like that. But at the end of the day, I know, because the image that we have, like I said, it depends on your brand. The image that we have and the clientele that we work with. Yes, I'm all for Black Lives Matter, all of those things. I'm just giving you an example. But at the same time, a lot of my Jewish counterparts is who we're sitting on the phone with every day making deals. And I never want anything that I say on my social media to be offensive to them or have it taken a different way because I'm promoting Black Lives Matter. You know, I never want anybody feelings to get hurt, because at the end of the day, I got to pay my bills. You know, my kids, I have to make sure my kids are taken care of. So those are some of the things, especially when you get heavily in the industry. Those are some things that you have to be cognizant about, because I'm telling you, the first thing when people reach out to me, even to meet with my clients, to have them on their shows, that's the first thing I do. I'm going to look at their social media pages. I want to know their followers, what type of stuff are they talking about? Are we sure you want to be tied to this? I had a situation yesterday where I had a client who has a very close relationship with an A-list celebrity, but the A-list celebrity has been in the media lately for some not so great things. And so we had to make a tough decision on, do you want your brand to be tainted by getting on and, you know, getting in the public with this person, or do you just want to lay low for a while? And so that's what they chose to do. With all respect, the person respected their decision, but they had to make that call because they see the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture in mind? I always tell everybody, I never think local, I always think global. And once again, like I said earlier, it may take you years to get into the industry, and once you get in, you'll be out just like that because of who you have aligned yourself with, or because of things and choices that you have made. Nick Cannon is one of them, because he made a few little statements on the radio. Now, where is Nick Cannon now? He's lost a major show. He's lost some major endorsements. And if we piggyback to what Attorney Pullum said, you know, he was making money off of the show he was doing on MTV, but guess what? He does not own the rights to any of that stuff. So what Viacom is getting all of that money because they own the rights to everything. Okay. So just be careful, think wisely about the words, the decisions, and what you choose.
That is so true. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you.
Thank you, Dr. Trina, for filling in for us. Because Miguel is in that room, and I want to make sure we have the time we need to go forward with him as well.
Yeah, well, real quick, Kenya said she feels that she's vocal like that, but you know, I think a lot of times that people expect celebrities to be role models. In my opinion, is that your parents should be your role models. Why should you look to a celebrity, to an actor, actress, a ball player? So, what are your thoughts about that before we bring the great Miguel in?
I mean, it's fine to look up to a celebrity to be a role model for you, but at the end of the day, a lot of times what you see in person is that they're trying to live a certain life because they know there are people out there that look up to them, but at the end of the day, they are human beings. And when the door closed, I think that's why our clients feel so comfortable with us, because sometimes they find themselves apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry for acting like this. No, be yourself. Be yourself. They're just as human. I got some that cut up worse than Michaela. They know. I bet not catch it on social media. But, you know, we are a support system for them to have, you know, to have that outlet. So, you know, it's okay for a celebrity to be your role model, but keep in mind that when they make a mistake, you still need to rock with them at the same time.
I'm like, I ain't your mammy.
Because they're human. Don't say, oh my God, I just thought that they was this way. No, they human too.
Right. Okay.
All right, Doc, you ready to take back over on the questions for our guests?
I still need you to be on standby.
I'll be here, but I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Because you was the one that got him. Is he here?
Yes, he is here.
He has his microphone. Let me unmute him.
And bring him into the spotlight, huh? Everybody,
Yes.
Miguel Nunez.
Hey,
Hey,
can I say something about what you just talking about, Doc?
yes.
Listen to me. Whether we choose, and you are absolutely right. It's up to the parents to be role models and doctors and lawyers. But whether we choose, we don't choose to be role models. What we as actors have to understand that you're right. It is up to the parents and the mothers and fathers and those people to be your role models but we as actors have to be incumbent upon the knowledge ourselves that we are role models to so many people. We are, you are, and you can still be yourself, but you always every minute have to be alert and be aware that even though you are aware of the people around you. I've changed, and I get thousands and thousands of emails and all kinds of stuff, and people who say I've changed your life just because I didn't know they were around, and they said something that they saw me do at a mall, something they saw me do on the street, something they saw me do here or there. I didn't even know they were around. So we are role models, and we have to be, and what the doc said about social media, it used to not be a problem, but it is a problem now. There's some things you can be as passionate as you want to be about, but some things you have to remember that it is now become a real factor in this business. And if you want to be in this business, you have to be keenly aware of what you say, what you do, and who you associate with, and what you associate with on social media, because they are now going to look at that first. It can be right, it can be wrong, it can be whatever you want it to be, or whatever you think it'll be. How that got to do with my talent? You can say all of the stuff you want to think, or say whatever you want to be, but when it comes down to it, you have to deal with the reality of the business that you're in. It's like the gangster said, "This is the business we chose." It's like, this is it. I'm sorry, I just wanted to comment on that too, but go ahead.
That's all right, Miguel. Look, let me tell you, I told the team when your name came up, I was like, I love Miguel. You may not remember me because I change my hair all the time, but the last time I saw you, we was at Tina Knowles Lawson's event center, and you were there with Darren Dickinson filming the NAACP. I think it was like last year.
Yes, I remember.
And what I will say is that Miguel was just so down to earth, talkative, so you are one of those actors that, I've always admired. I love your personality, and just keep doing what you're doing. And so,
something, it's so weird because a lot of times when I first started coming up, I would see actors and they were, because I'm a country boy, I'm from North Carolina, and I would see them be so rude to people, and I never understood it. And then later on, and as I got famous, like I go places, and I was in a store once, and somebody in front of a lady looking at me like this, looking around me, see, you know who you is? And I said, and then the guy behind her go, who is he? She grabs me by my jacket, turns me around, and throws me to the guy. And says, and then the guy behind me, after she turned me around, the guy behind the counter said, who is he? She grabs me, turns me around, starts dragging me to the counter. I snatched my shirt, jacket, rest, excuse me, ma'am. She said, you know what? You are very rude. It's like, and then people run up and take food out of your hand and say, hold on, I need to get a picture. And don't even say anything. Okay, Monty, your turn. Turn around. I'm like, I only got 15 minutes. Oh, stop, boy. And everybody goes, why are you so accommodating? And it's so weird. And Eddie Murphy told me a long time ago, and this is what kept me grounded and centered. When these people, you have been on TV for so long. My first TV was Tour of Duty on CBS in 1987. Y'all probably wasn't even born. In 1987, and it was a hit on CBS, 3 years of drama. Since then, since 1987, I've been on TV ever since. He said, when these people go in the house and close their doors and lock their doors, and they put the punch the keypad, put their alarm on. They got the wife, their daughter, their kids, and they're watching TV, and it's just them in their house in the security of their home and you. And they're watching you in this movie, in this TV show every week. And they're laughing at you, and they seeing you, then they see you in the movie as you. And that's why when they see you, they run up to you, and they grab on you, and they feel like you are a part of their family. They have grown up with you
Yeah.
for years. They feel like they know you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I look at everybody just like that. And that's what keeps me grounded.
Yeah. We have a question for you. So, and this is one of my favorite movies too. They say, please tell us, because we have actors that's on the line as well. They say, please tell us about how you prepared for your role in Joanna Man.
Oh Lord, that was hard as hell. Listen to me. That was the hardest movie I've ever done. To me, the hardest thing was the voice. Because I learned all the lines just regular. I just learned the line. Once I got the lines, I mean, anybody can play that kind of a gay guy. You know, anybody can play that kind of gay, but he wasn't gay. He was a guy who was dressing up to get on in the basketball. So I had to take it back and figure out how to do it. So to me, it was easy to play that kind of guy who's, you know, tricking people. That was the easy part. The hardest part for me was the voice, because I was doing for 4 months, because we had to train for the month. I was going through the stand in front of the mirror, and I was going, and I was saying the lines, and I was like, I don't want to. The moment it sounds like a transvestite, it won't work.
Mm.
The moment it sounds like a transvestite, it just won't work. That's what you're going to be thinking and thinking and saying the whole time. I said, I couldn't. I was just doing everything I could. I was thinking of all that funny extra stuff that came up online on the set. Half that stuff was ad-libs. The screaming, I ain't giving no care. All that stuff was just ad-libs. And I'm practicing in the mirror every single day for months. I decided, you know what? I get on the plane, go to Charlotte. We shot in North Carolina. I said, whatever comes out when I start, I'm just going to stick with it and try my best to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I get there like 6 in the morning because it was a 3-hour makeup job. This girl walks up to me who's an AD from North Carolina and goes, excuse me, would you like some sweet tea? And that was it.
That's your voice.
That's it. All I got to do is make her a country girl, and you really can't tell the difference. And it was, oh my, everything, all of the nervousness, everything went away. And once I made a country girl, that was it. All I got, and I knew 100 country girls like this, because I'm from North Carolina, and I knew 35, 50, 100,000 of them. My aunts were like this. They were always smart and talk real fast. And I knew so many of them like that. And it was just, it was that. And that girl to this day don't know, she saved the movie.
Wow. So.
And the plucking and the tweezing you guys have to do. My God. I used to always wonder why girls were always late. And then I went doing that, and then was like, you got to get ready. And then I was like, okay, wait, we got to tweeze. What do you mean tweeze? Don't let it go. You can't just let it go. Only guys just let it go. You can't do it. The tweezing, the plucking, the tucking, all it. My God, I've been a more understanding man since doing that movie. Take your time, baby. I'm going to take your time, baby.
So how long, and I know it probably varies from role to role. So what advice would you give an up-and-coming actor or actor that's been in the game locally a long time to actually get that SAG role?
Listen to me.
What you give to them?
Somebody else said this earlier, and they was talking about age. It's never, ever, ever, ever too late. Ever. I don't care. You could be 67 and you could get that one role on a TV show where you playing this cop detective, NCI shithead, whatever NCI is, 1,000 of them, and something, and then make, you know, a $200,000-300,000 a year for the next 10 years. It could happen at any time. The problem, you have to continue to be ready for it. You have to be in the right place. And in the right place is not sitting at home wanting it to happen. The right place is in all of your regional theaters. Right place is doing research, going out, saying, don't they have theaters in my hometown? Don't they have, because somebody is going to come see you. And then you get somebody to tape you doing this stuff. There got to be something. And listen, I ran away from home. Everybody don't know this. When I wanted to be an actor, I'm from a little town in North Carolina. My entire life, I said I was going to be an actor. I made 3 bologna sandwiches, got on the bus. Came to California, 17 years old. I was sleeping in the streets, eating out of the trash, living downtown LA, sleeping behind the bus station. I used to wake up with lice on me. I used to sell my blood to eat every single day. And I never, ever, 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 ever thought about where I was at that time. I was sleeping behind the bus station. It was cold as hell. And if I would tell you the whole story, it would take hours, but blow your mind. But and I was sleeping on a park bench, and somebody told me about the Union Rescue Mission. I ended up going to the Union Rescue Mission. If you go to the Union Rescue Mission, there used to be a picture. I don't know, I've been there a while. A picture of me on the wall, a graduate. There are a lot of people that graduated going through the Union Rescue Mission. But I ended up going to the Union Rescue Mission, and I just never gave up. You never ever give up. It can happen for you, but it's not going to happen for you if you are out partying all night and half the day, sleeping half the day every day, smoking, getting high every day, and not getting it and putting to the tool and not going for every day. You should look at it like tomorrow is the first day of the rest of my life. And I promise you, if you really started to concentrate on it, and listen to me, I didn't know how, I didn't know where, I never took no for an answer. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
When I first got here, I used to, and I talked like this when I first got here. They used to call me country boy. They told me this. I said, I want to go to Universal Studio and I want to walk around inside the studio and I want to see how they make movies so I can learn. My friend said, man, shut up, you little skinny. They ain't going to let you in there. And then so I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean they ain't going to let me? Just like every single person in my entire life, from the time I was 6, 7 years old, I can remember, I told I was going to be, told me it's impossible. You're ugly, you're skinny, you're black, you're poor. It's impossible. I heard that from every single person in my life. Didn't matter to me. Didn't matter to me. So anyway, I ended up running away from home. So I got here and then I ended up going to the Union Rescue Mission. I went to the Union Rescue Mission, but here's the thing. They told me you cannot go to Universal Studio Tour. So I didn't want to hear that. So I go to the Universal Studio Tour and I walk up to that and I said, man, listen to me. I said, hey, my name is Miguel Nunez. I'm from Wilson, North Carolina. I want to be an actor. Can I go inside and walk around on the stages and see how the movie, because I want to be an actor. He said, man, get your little skinny ass out of here. You can't do that. So the other guy, all my other friends said they won't let you. The guy, security guard said, I can't. And to me, those things don't compute, and you can never, ever accept what somebody else tells you as being what you're able to accomplish. So I went back downtown where I was living. I was living at 1000 East 7th Street. I was living at the Ford Hotel, which was like, you wouldn't want to own it if they gave it to you at the time. So now I go down there and I sell my blood plasma. You get $14, $7 first day, $14. I don't know what it is today. I got a ticket to Universal Studios tour. I got on the tour and I'm walking on the tour and I'm taking the tour. At one point, they get off the tour. They say, everybody line up over here on this side. Line up over here. Okay, now we're going to go behind me over here. And I want you all to, and the tram's going to pick us up on the other side, but we're going to go inside. We're going to see how they do movies and TV shows. So everybody come this way, come this way, come this way, come this way. And while they were this way, coming this way, I was going that way, going that way, going that way. And I went the opposite way, went around to all the stages, went up to the top, kept my mouth shut, and did exactly what they told me I could not do. And exactly what the man at the front gate told me I could not do. I did it. I went there all day long and I sat up there and I listened and I learned so much. And then I would do that at other studios. But what I'm telling you is don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. And I was further than just from low than a homeless person, because I was in a city that I didn't know. And I looked like I was 9 when I got here. And every step I took in any direction, I was lost. And I had $2 when I landed here, $2. And I never once thought about what I was going to do when I got here. I absolutely 100% knew every single thing in my life that happened was going to happen. You have to believe that much in yourself. Once you believe that much in yourself, it'll make you say, I don't give a damn if I have to sleep outside behind the bus station. You know why? Because I know what's going to happen. I don't mind being hungry and not eat for 2 or 3 days. I remember this right here, the gum part, it was like, if anything touched it, it was in shock through my body. I didn't find out till later it was malnutrition, and I remember I couldn't even close my mouth because it hurt so bad, because I had eaten 2 or 3 days. But it didn't matter to me, you know why? Because I knew what was gonna happen. When you have that kind of confidence in yourself, that's what makes you go out and get it. What makes you turn around and give up is when somebody says, you can't do that. What, really? And you start to believe in what they saying you're capable of doing. When you give in to what somebody else is saying that you're capable in, then you start to falter. Then you start to lose your way. I don't give a damn what you say. Tell me I can't do anything. I promise you I'll do it. Put me in any city, give me $100. In any city in America, give me $100 in a year, I'll be rich. I know too much.
Miguel, you about to make me run around this house because that's how I live my life. My life, I call it faith, you know, a woman of faith. That's what they call me. And oh my God, if we look at you now, like your story, you can use your story to help others. And you haven't been on the call the whole time. And before you got on, people was asking us, well, I'm too old. Do you think I'm too old? Do you think I'm this or I'm that? I can't do it. But just listening to your courage and listening to how much confidence, how much faith you have. Oh my God, you are so inspiring to everybody that's on this call. But I do have one question. I need to know, was the bologna fried burnt? Was it burnt? He frozen, y'all.
He is frozen.
He is frozen.
With his Merry Christmas behind him.
He'll frozen soon, but I do like that Christmas still.
Okay, he may get back on. I see Jeanette popping up.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, I have enjoyed everything. Y'all, I have enjoyed just sitting back doing nothing. You ladies rock. Let me just say that. But we do have Dannette here. From
Miguel may be back, Jeanette. I'm not sure.
You want to bring her up real quick and wait on him?
He's back.
No, he's here.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
It is going. I'm loving every minute of that. That's just like
questions out here for Miguel too. He got quite a few questions in the queue.
She was jumping in there, wasn't she?
Look, Miguel, look, let me tell you. I just have one question. Was the bologna burnt? Did you fry it burnt?
You know what? You about to make me show you right now. You want me to do another one? No, I got a new one now.
What's the new one? You over there?
Right now. Hold on, where's my spam?
Not spam.
I'm really, you know, you can laugh all you want to, but I love spam. Spam will keep you going when you're homeless.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted.
So I was telling you that your story is just so inspirational. And so you've been a great inspiration to our guests here tonight, because some of them had questions like, where do I start? We have a brother here who was in prison, but he's out of prison now. He wants to get into acting. And so, you know, he wanted to know, like, how do you leave the prison system and then you get into acting? And so, you know, those different things. Another young lady, she's 45. And so she's getting into acting. We have somebody else that's 50, you know, all different ages, all different adversities. And I think tonight has been just do it.
Absolutely. It don't matter how old you are. It works in your advantage. Prison system don't mean nothing. More guys get out of prison. If I ever go to audition and it's about like a hard movie, and all movies have somebody hard in it, or a TV show where it's like a hard role, I guarantee you when they see somebody who's really been in the prison, every actor gets scared because every producer hires them first. So if you're getting out of prison, you're an advantage, and don't let nobody tell you any different. You just go for it. Don't worry about your prison. Don't keep your prison in front of you. Go on with your life, put your prison behind you. If your prison come up, you deal with it. Boom, and you keep going. In this business, it don't matter. In the entertainment business, it don't matter if you went in there and do it. Because what's his name? What's the name with the Mexican guy? He started in prison. I can't think of his name. They got a taco stand now. But yeah, I mean, there's so many actors that started from coming out of prison. That don't mean anything in this business. Wow. Might mean something in the banking business, but it's an advantage in this business. And don't let anybody tell you different. You just keep going for it, doing it the right way, and keep your life right. And it doesn't matter where you've been. Doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with what you've done. It has to do with where you're going, period. That's behind you.
Yes, I love it.
Don't let nobody try to hold that in front of you. And if they do, keep on walking, because there's going to be 100 places. If there's 80 doors that's closed because of it. There's going to be 160 that's open. So don't worry about it. I don't give a damn.
All right. So Miguel, what's next for you? What's next?
What's next is you got to go to Family Business BET Plus and watch.
Oh
Family
yes,
Business.
I am ready. You know,
BET
you make me mad in there a little bit, okay?
Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're gonna be more madder.
Oh Lord, I've been talking to Jeff, one of the producers. I've been keeping up.
The second season.
Huh?
We just finished the second half of the second season that starts on December the 31st, and we just started shooting third season.
Wonderful.
And it's fire.
Yes, make sure you watch the Family Business. It's a great show.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you. All right, God bless everybody. Have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us tonight, Miguel.
My pleasure.
Miguel, can we ask you one more question?
Nope.
Yes. Okay. Well, actually, we have Malaka Tori on here, Guy Tori and Joe Tori's little sister, and she wants to know what your favorite movie or role is.
Oh no, Guy Tori, little sister. Oh, I love Guy.
Guy's awesome. I love him too.
What's my favorite movie that I've done?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's hard because to me, you know, remember, everybody asks me stuff. Which one you didn't like the most? Which one this? Which one that? I was so enthralled for all of them. Like and all for different reasons. I want to say Joanna Man because I was #1 on the call sheet. When you're #1 on the call sheet, they treat you like you're a pharaoh in the Roman times. I want to say Street Fighter because I was 6 months in Australia. I could say Scooby-Doo because I was shot it on a beautiful, the most incredible island you ever seen called Tangalooma Island off the coast of Brisbane, Australia. When you get up in the mornings, you walk out in the water to your knees. For some reason, the mom dolphins would bring the baby dolphins and they would give you little bags of fish and they would come and you could rub them and pick them up for a few seconds and drop them back in the water. The dolphins would come every morning. It's so many different reasons, so many wonderful, amazing places. Everyone was special. Life, because we're on a set laughing so hard, I think I almost bust my guts working with so many different people. I mean, I could sparks, having so much fun with James, Avery, Taryn. It was just, everything was special to me. I don't have a favorite.
All right. And how can people follow you on your social media?
You can follow me at MNUNEZJR, M Nunez Jr. M Nunez Jr. IG and Twitter. MNUNEZJR Nunez. M Nunez Jr.
All right. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless. I'm gonna keep listening though, because y'all might have some stuff I need to hear because you know.
Please stay on the line for the next few minutes.
Yeah, we might have you give you free membership, Miguel.
Okay, there you go. I want it. You got to. Malika.
He said Malika.
Little sister said thank you. You gonna give me some free membership?
Yeah.
He said Malika.
You gonna give me free membership?
Malika is Guy's a sister. I'm Michaela. But I think I'm a Tory too, so you know.
Hold your hands up, Michaela. Hold both your hands up. The other side. Turn them around this way. Turn them this way. All right. What's happening, Michaela?
Hey, baby. Hey.
You ain't got no ring on that thing.
Oh, is that what he was looking for? Oh.
Hey.
Where you live at? Where you live at?
Wherever you want me to live.
I want to know where you live. Where?
Dallas. But I can live anywhere.
I was just in there.
So you know.
I was just in Dallas for 3 weeks. I was in Dallas for 3 weeks shooting a zombie movie.
Yes, he was.
Zombied your ass over downtown Dallas where I live. That's all I'm saying.
I was downtown. I was downtown. I was at the what is it? The hotel.
The hotel. Look. The hotel you was at?
What's the name of the hotel with Nobu on it? Crescent Court.
Okay. Oh, you was at the Crescent.
Wow. You're very close to me.
You know the Crescent?
I live very close.
Look at him. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You should be.
Michaela, you passed the light skin test.
You should be mad. It ain't the light skin. It's the smile and the smile in the hair.
We have guests. We have guests.
We have guests. We have guests.
Miguel, is always such a joy.
I need to make another ginger
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Are we going to have time for Dannette?
Of course.
Yes, come on.
Yeah.
We got to bring our
Come on,
own.
Dannette. I'm sorry, Dannette.
Come on in the room, Dannette. We need you in the room before something else happens.
You ain't lying.
Okay.
You ain't lying. You better mute us.
I'll mute myself right now.
But we are honored to have one of Dallas's own, Miss Dannette Linicom of the Linicom Agency. And we are so happy you were able to join us, Dannette. And we're going to bring you into the room. There you are. They need to unmute you.
Oh, wait a minute. We're coming. All right.
Okay, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Dannette,
Nice to
how are
see
you?
everybody. Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. So we've been waiting for you to come on.
Good.
Some people that had some agent questions, they had some demo reel questions. And so if
Okay.
you have agent or demo reel questions, please post them in the group. But can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Dannette Linicom. I am the owner of the Linicom Agency. I've been in business for 12 years, and I was an actress for about 6 years, 5 or 6 years before I decided that it wasn't my calling. And I kind of graduated high school, started working for attorneys right out of high school, and then went to acting school and decided that being on that side of the camera wasn't for me. And so I kind of found my place in the business. I went to acting school for 2 years and decided that I wanted to be on this side of the camera. And I wanted to be two things in life. I wanted to be a gymnast and I wanted to be an actress when I was little. And so I trained in gymnastics till I was in high school. I trained with Bella Caroli for about 2 years in Houston. And I decided not to move with my coach, and I decided to move back to Texas with my parents. And kind of the rest is history. I started pursuing the other love that I thought I wanted to do, which was acting. And then, of course, when I took classes, I realized that it wasn't really for me. And so I held my first open call, talked to my agent. I had 2 agents here in Dallas before I became an agent. I stayed with my first agent for about 2 years, and then the second for about a year. And I talked to her about what I was thinking about doing, and I held my first open call in 2007. And the rest is history. So I'm a full service agency. I rep actors anywhere from 0 to 80. And we've been in business. I was franchised for about 7 years. Then I merged with another agency and decided to, and had to let my franchise go with SAG. And then once I went back on my own, I'm still not franchised. I haven't decided to go back franchised yet with SAG, but we're in Texas, so it's a right to work state. It's 80-20 here. We only get about 80% non-union and 20% union. So if you want to do a lot of union work, you kind of have to work outside of Dallas.
Wow. Okay. So our first question, did you disappear? I see Jeanette on the screen. Jeanette, are you still here?
I think her call dropped.
It seems like it did.
Okay, we'll give her a minute to get back in. Please get your questions ready. Dannette is the person to answer all your demo reel. When do you need an agent? How do you secure an agent? Those questions will go to her.
And while we wait on Dannette, Lucretia, could you come back in and talk about membership real quickly? So then we can already have that out of the way while we give her time to get back on. Yes,
I can. And I'll be happy to. Ladies in film and television this is our first year, and we started off with a bang, and then COVID came in and just knocked us off our feet. And we're ending up with the bang as well, because this is our last event for the year. But I'd like to talk to you a little about our membership. We have 4 different membership levels. We have a student membership, which is $50 per year. So if you are in college and studying acting, if you're in high school and studying acting, or if this is something you think you want to do, that would be a great membership for you to have. And then we have our career membership, which is $75 per year. And our executive membership, which is $125 per year. And then our corporate level. Our corporate level is $300 per year, but you can bring your entire family basically along with that particular level. They can all be involved with this, with our organization. Right now, tonight, we are offering a 20% discount to everyone that is on the call or on the Zoom call. And we also, with the annual fees, we also have monthly fees as well, if the annual fees do not fit into your budget. But and each different level, there are so many different opportunities that you have. You have access to our mentoring program. You have access to our attorneys. These are all things that are put in place for you for being a member of Women in Film. Ladies in Film, I'm sorry, Ladies in Film and Television. And so if you have any questions about membership, you can always reach out to me. I am Lucrejohn, LUCREJOHN @gmail. And it's always info@ladiesinfilm.com. And so we are here to help, and we would love for you all that aren't members to seriously look into our organization. We are here to help each other and lift each other up, and that is at ladiesinfilm.com. And so, does anyone have any questions for me?
I want to piggyback on you real quick because I want to let everyone know that how this got started. Lucretia, Dannette, and Catrina and I were a part of another women film organization in Dallas. So while we're waiting for our other guests to come back. And the problem that we had there was that it was not inclusive, it was exclusive. And as minorities, and we weren't the only one, we had people from the Middle East and everywhere, from Asians and stuff, that we were not, our voices were not heard. I think we were just included because we were minorities. Mm-hmm. But when it came down to it, they just basically just shit on us. So Dannette, she had this company, an acting company, she just stepped on her faith and said, she was nervous. She said she had this idea for Ladies in Film and Television. And so we were like, yeah, go for it. And so once we I think, I don't know, maybe a couple of months into the inception, before we launched, we started out really great. We had Elvin Ross from Tyler Perry Studios, and we had Darius McCrary in February doing a masterclass for us. And then COVID hit, but it never stopped us. We just kept going, and we've been doing great things ever since. But I just think for us, we are a family. There's no competition here. Whatever your skill is, whether you're a makeup artist, if you are a stylist, screenwriter, an actor, actress, we will take whatever your talent is from inception to production. We will help you. We are a family. We help everyone. So we formed like over 20 committees. So what we do is that if you have an idea, we all jump in on it and we help to create your project, and we just help each other. So that's where we are. That's what we do, and we love doing it. We have, you know, we just, I mean, it was just really a blessing. We just came out here and we just pounded it. And we were so fortunate. I mean, to have you all on the panel, all these great people, and my future baby daddy, Miguel, although I have Easter eggs and my sister Malaka, and yeah, we're so grateful to have you. But this is just, you know, Jeanette's really kind of shy and a crybaby about it, and I don't know why she doubts herself when she keeps, I don't know, how many awards have you racked up this year? she keeps racking up awards, but she's just, I don't know, she's very talented, but she's very I don't know why anybody who could sing and act and write the way she does is so shy.
Right, Miguel would like to be brought in on this subject. He said he'd like to be brought in on what we're talking about.
Well, come on. Oh, we have a question here, but she wants to know how I balance being a physician and creating in the film industry. You know, it's interesting that you asked that. People ask me that all the time. we make time to do what we want to do. And I don't, 24 hours in a day doesn't mean anything to me. I do what I want to do. So I set my schedule. I start early. I don't work all day long. Really, it's even like dating. We can all have excuses, but you really make the time to do the things that you want to do. So, a physician, I screenwrite, I'm a novelist, I produce, I've written a couple, I have lots of features and stuff, but basically, you make time to do what you want to do. Bottom line, no excuses.
All right, we have Miss Dannette back. Let's see if we can get her back on.
Yes, I'm sorry. That was my cell phone. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Hold on. Can I say something really quick?
Yes, sir.
I want to say something to everybody that's on. One of the most important things when I was coming up and early on, it was more so about what you know than who you know, because back in the day, Black folks didn't really know anybody, and it was all about being good and going in there knocking it out every time. This day and now in time, it's as equally about who you know. And it's such an advantage for you guys right now. Groups like this was not around. Everybody was so into themselves, helping themselves up, pulling themselves up, because it was a different time. Everybody was trying to scratch out. You guys are so lucky. If I had this group
join it
coming up, everybody in this group should immediately sign up. This is so valuable to have these kind of people, this kind of experience that you can pull from is unheard of. It is as valuable as you talking about an agent and a manager, having somebody that you can go to. This right here was not around. If I were to tell you anything, I would say get involved. I don't know anything more about it than what she sent me, and I've read, I've been listening, but I can tell you one thing, to collectively have this kind of talent in these different many areas of this type of business, if this is what you want to be in, you have to. It's not a problem, not a matter if you can afford to. It's a matter if you can afford not to. That's the key. If you really want to do this, you make the freaking sacrifices. That's the bottom line. And I'm not, they ain't giving me a dime. They ain't asked me to say this. They don't know.
I ain't asked them to say nothing.
It's real. It's real. And I wish I would have, just like I saved up my money, I would have saved up mine and joined this, and I would have called so much, y'all would have been like, it's Miguel again. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. Okay. And I know my wife, I know she's going to be looking out for everybody if you call her, right, Boo Boo?
Yes. Boo Boo is the president. Yes, she will.
Yes, Boo Boo. I got you, Boo Boo.
You really don't know, huh?
Hey, you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, they make me be good.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna be good.
I'm surprised about that. Text me right now.
Okay.
I want gendering down.
Oh, she got a red cup too. She got a red cup. I know I like
Stepping it up.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Miguel.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Dannette.
You're welcome.
So does anybody have any questions for Dannette since she's back now? And Dannette has ties to the industry. And I know when we started Ladies in Film and Television, one of the big things Michaela, Jeanette, and I talked about is that bringing LA to Dallas. Why Dallas got to go to LA, but bringing Hollywood to Dallas. And that's how we kicked off 2020. And that's how we're leaving out of 2020 the same way. And so we're excited about 2021. And we would love to see more of our individuals. Jeanette has an acting school, more of her students, more of the Dallas talent that we have here able to land an agent. And then when you get an agent, because anybody can open up an agency, but land an agent with intention, with purpose. You know, get an agent that's actually in the industry and working and have your best interests at heart. So the first question is, what are you looking for in a client when you look for a client? Dannette.
Let's see. Right now, I'm looking for experience. So when I first started, I was looking for a little bit of everybody, but I do have a smaller boutique agency, and I've been around for a minute, so I've kind of paid my dues, and so I am looking for talent that have a demo reel or that have, you know, quite a bit of experience, at least some co-starring roles, some guest starring roles on some episodics or pilots. And so, but that doesn't mean that I'm not open to seeing new talent that don't have a ton of experience on their resume. If I have a need for your look and your type, then I'm absolutely open to watching a demo or a reel, or having you send me some video of some copy that I send, or a scene that I will send, and then I'll have you read it, have you send it, and I'll take a look at it, and then we kind of go from there. Most of the agents here aren't doing in-person auditions right now until COVID is over. And so I haven't had an in-person audition since March, and all my auditions have been tapings. So, but I'm looking for everybody. I'm looking for young, old, everyone at this point, preferably with experience or with a reel, but I'm still open to seeing talent that are new.
Okay. Let's see, what's our next question? So on your website, it says industry submissions only. What does that mean?
So it means referrals, or if you have a coach that you're working with, or someone in the industry that's a VIP, or somebody that's, you know, been around for a while, a casting director that can refer you to me, then I'll take a look at that submission before I look at the open submissions that come in from just anybody from the public. So any industry professional that can refer you or send you a referral letter, that's kind of what I'm looking for right now.
And I would say this, if you don't have a coach or acting teacher or facilitator or whatever, don't forget that Dannette, our president, our founder, not our president, but our founder of Ladies in Film and Television, has a whole acting school. And so many times we look at, you know, just different things when we're choosing, but she is dynamic, she is great. She has, I think most of her kids, when they get, our adult students, when they get to a certain level, I have seen where she's gotten them signed to agents. Dannette is one of the agents she works with. And so you got to remember, you got to put in the work. You got to do the investment in yourself. Don't always think that everything is just going to be given to you, but learn how to invest in yourself. Because sometimes we get this attitude, I know I'm good at what I do, I don't need a coach. You will always need a coach. I work with some of the best in the industry, and guess what? Before they go to auditions, they have a coach that coach them. Even when they're preparing for roles or currently on set, they still work with coaches to get them prepared for the roles. So that's something to think about as well. There was a question about, are older people at a disadvantage of being signed to an agent?
Not at all. I think it depends on the agency. They may, you know, some agents may have 10 or 15 of talent that are 50 and 50 plus. Some may have, you know, a plethora of talent that are over 50. I try to keep a pretty diverse roster, and I try to keep, you know, a handful of 20s, 30s, 40s, so everybody works. And then of course, you know, you get with a bigger agency, they usually submit talent that are, you know, their top bookers or the ones that book the most. And I try to just keep a small roster in those that, you know, are a select few, so that I can keep everybody busy. So it really just depends on the agency. I'm always looking for boys. They don't submit as much as girls, unfortunately. So I'm always looking for boys and African-American men over 50. You know, I've had to pull my dad in for some castings because it's that scarce here in Dallas. And he's booked because there's just not that many in their 70s that are still, you know, haven't retired, or that are in the business, or that want to be in the business. So so yeah, it's definitely a need for older talent for sure.
Been trying
And
to
Dallas
use
is a big
that.
commercial market, so 90% of what we get is commercials. And so it's definitely work here for older talent.
Okay. Our next question is, someone wants to know, is your site open now?
Oh yeah, it's always open. Yes, ma'am. You can visit it. You can shoot me an email through the site, or you can email me direct. Either one. Don't email me through social media. I'm trying to get better at it, but it is not my friend. I'm not even gonna lie. Facebook, Instagram, tweet, all of that. So if you want to submit, just email me direct, and I'll get it quicker, and I'll respond quicker than social media. I am on it, but somebody else is working it. And so I'm just being honest. That's not, I'm working on it. I'm working on getting better at social media.
Yes. I would always recommend is that you, for business purposes, use the email or what is stated on the website, because a lot of stuff can get lost in DMs and all of those things. So
DMs, oh Lord. Yeah, no. Don't
I barely check them. Yes. So do you all, okay, so if my reel is new because I'm just getting into film, is this okay to use?
I wouldn't, because a bad reel can talk you out of an audition. So if I were you, I would just submit your headshot and resume and take your chances. If we have a need for your look and your type, then we'll bring you in, and then you can read for us. I would much prefer you read in front of me than send me something that's mediocre, and then I'm not going to bring you in if it's you know, not good. So I don't like a lot of reels that are coming in. A lot of my talent are doing these reels that are being done in a class with other classmates, and I can see somebody that I represent in the back. If it's not real actual work, then it's not something that I'm a fan of. A lot of people just say, well, but it's something, you know, I just want to show, you know, the casting director or the agent or something, you know, of me on camera, because I have nothing. But just be careful, because if it's not good, then we're not going to bring you in, versus you just submitting your headshot and resume and you getting a better shot at reading in front of me, and then I will, you know, sign you. But if you send me something that's a student film, short, indie, that's, you know, the quality's bad, you only have 1 or 2 lines, then it's not going to do you much justice. So just be careful with doing demos that are not professional and that are not actual work.
And she is right, because you remember this, you are only going to get one chance to make a first impression.
That's right.
And in this business, a lot of times when these casting directors and these producers and these directors, if you go, that's why they say study as much as possible. You get something before you're ready, it can for your entire career, because you weren't ready for it. You think you good, like she said, you think you're already, you think you're good, you think you done did 4 or 5 classes, somebody told you got a little talent, and you go out there and you do something and you're bad, or you sitting in a demo reel is bad, then next time they say, hey, who is it? What's their game again? Who is that? Oh, I remember. And they're gonna go back to that same thing. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Make sure, don't let, I do an acting class and on my IG, and I'm telling you right now, you have to study, you have to be ready, because, and here's why I wanted to, a lot of people were telling me, they thought I was saying one of my things about acting classes, and I was talking about being natural. You have to take, so a lot of the teachers asked me to talk to their students about who thought they didn't really need acting classes. And my thing was, listen to me. When you get into it, and you into these rooms with these producers and these big producers and these big movies and these big things, you got to remember, it's life changing. So you're going to have the all in the back of your head. Now you got all the lines in the back of your head. You got all that. And then when you walk in that room,
you forget everything.
10, 15, 20, 30 people. So that's going to be on you too. If you've done it in front of an acting class over and over and over and over again, now you just dealing with this part. You're not dealing with the people in the room. You know how to block them out now. So you have an advantage over the people who don't have it. And the more comfortable you are in that room, the better job you're going to do. So make sure that you do exactly what these ladies say. The more acting classes you take, Get ready. Like she said, when people, I'm looking for people with some kind of experience. She ain't saying people that have 60, 70,000 movies. She's saying somebody with some experience. If I say I did this play in my down, this play, that play, this play, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this student film, and you've got something she can work with, you may get some consideration. But if you got nothing, then you have a less chance to do that. So I'm just reiterating some of the things they're telling you and why.
Miguel, someone said that they think that you were at the Hampton Film Festival and wants to know if you know Eleanor Earl.
Absolutely, I was there.
And, you know,
and the casting director, I'm telling you right now, I was just there. And I did a movie with a zombie movie, and the producer lives in Dallas. We had a lot of audition, and I was just saying this when I was just there last month for 3.5 weeks. I got to find me a casting director in Dallas. Dallas has a lot of really good talent, and this producer has a lot of money, and he's getting ready to do, I think, 2 or 3 more movies and another 2 TV shows there. I have to connect you to as soon as we get off this phone. He was casting, and he was like, you know any casting directors out here? And I was like, no, he wanted me to get one in LA. I'm like, no, we got to find, they have to have a casting director here in Dallas. I'm so glad that I got on this call, and I want to hook you up with him because he's doing a lot of stuff. Nick Cage is the Nick Cage. He did the Nick Cage movie where he produced it, and they're doing another big Nick Cage Part 2 movie. And he's going to shoot a lot of things in Dallas. He just bought a studio. We're getting ready to buy another studio in Dallas. So I'm so glad that I met you.
Yay. I think this one is for, there's a question here. If my reel is new because I'm just getting to into film, is this okay to use?
He answered that question, or Dannette answered that question.
Do you cap the number of potential clients you take on, Dannette? Is she still on? Is Dannette still on? I don't think she is.
I think her phone was dying on her.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear from Jeanette, the owner of Ladies in Film, the founder. She's always acting shy.